Sorry, my voice is a little whack. Yeah.
Hi, it's me and the baby. Respect the floof. I know I just slapped the shit out of her. It's okay. She's a pain.
I feel like I'm so used to editing these and being behind the camera that I feel so awkward being in front of the camera now. But we'll see how this goes.
Who in KPMD makes you laugh, smile the most? Probably Rachel. Yeah, she was telling me about a show the other day, and it was really funny.
I'm gonna say Chi. I feel like when I first got into KPMD, like me and Chi didn't know each other that well. Well, Chi wasn't here yet, but we like didn't talk as much, and then recently we got really close, and now like anytime we hang out, like it makes me feel a lot better, and I'm always happy when I'm around Chi. And also we have like similar interests and similar senses of humor, so it makes it easy for us to kind of like banter with each other. And it's also just like Chi makes me happy, so anytime I like see something that like I think is funny or I think is gonna make like someone smile, I'm always like, oh, I have to send that to Chi. And so I feel like a lot of the times where I'm laughing and smiling it's because Chi is with me, or like there's something I see and I'm like, oh, Chi would think that's really funny. So
honestly, there's a lot of people. I don't know if I should list that many.
Izzy, Chi, JJ, and Paul. I don't know, I think we just have similar humors, and also like, I don't know, they're just goofy. I think they're funny. They're just really goofy they're little lads, little neat guys.
That, I feel like I'd probably have to say like either Abby or Anderson, just because when I'm with Abby, I don't know, the stuff that she does, like it's sometimes like she'll be like freaking out over Hyunjin from Stray Kids and stuff like that, and she just goes like absolutely insane, and I always think that it's really funny to watch, and it happens very often. And for Anderson, I feel like she just has like a very like deadpan sense of humor that I like a lot, and it makes me laugh. It's always a good time with either one of those two.
I said Sammy, Des, Abby, Care, Chi, and Izzy. I pick these people because sometimes I'll be freaking in my feels and out of the blue. I could be like any of them, and I could say like a stupid like SpongeBob joke or reference, and I'd be like, you know what's funnier than 824, 25, and then I lose my mind every time. I will laugh at anything.
Who has the best fashion in KPMD? So for this one, I'd probably have to say either Des or Mia. Yeah, I like Des's concert fits a lot. Like sometimes she posts them on her story. I like her concert fits a lot. And then Mia, I just think like every time I see her, there's always like there's like a method or like a theme to her outfit, and everything just coordinates really well. And I'm like, damn, I gotta start dressing like that. So yes.
Izzy, Des, and Sammy, and Lance as well. Lance style always amazes me as well. And I really like how Annie accessorizes. Like I like the shoes or like a little bag, and I'm like, oh my gosh, where'd you get that from? Yeah, I like that.
Everyone kind of stepped up their fashion game. Like when I first came out into KPMD, it was not it. But I feel like recently, like we're all pretty like fashionable and we dress well. But I guess I would say like Lance or Sammy. I feel like they both always dress really nice, and they have like their own fashion. It's not just like, oh, you generally dress well, but like they have their own way that they dress, and they have their like, and it's really nice, and I think they have their own style, and it's really cool. I'd say Izzy, Sammy, or Lance. Mostly because vibes, but
but also because it feels like even when they don't put an outfit together, like it's kind of last minute, it still looks really good. And I feel like,
I think Maham probably has the best fashion sense. I love all of their outfits.
It has golden retriever energy. I said Abby and Sammy because they will feed off each other like little puppies and will cheep to each other about what they like or what they're happy about, and you can notice because they're always fidgeting about what just made them happy and excited, and they'll look at each other and they're like, yes.
Mari, just I don't know, it feels correct because Mari, and when people are cute, it's like, I don't know, Mari just is very, yeah. And I guess Allie too. Allie's very welcoming. Maybe Chase. Chase is also very friendly, I think.
I think probably Gian. They just give me like big puppy vibes.
I'm not sure about this one actually. I feel like a lot of people in KPMD are like that kind of like puppy boy persona recently. I don't know, maybe Josh? I don't know, I feel like Josh is like not like high energy like golden retriever, but he's always like around people and he wants to hang out and he kind of is like looking for attention and those people around him. So I guess I would say Josh. He's also just like cute and, you know, doing his thing. So I guess I would say Josh.
For this one, I'd probably have to say Abby again. I don't know, she just gives me that vibe. I don't know, she's always like very bright and like energetic and everything every time I talk to her. So yeah, Abby.
Who's most different on and off camera? I feel like I haven't gotten a chance to like film a lot of stuff or perform a lot of stuff with everyone, so that one's kind of hard for me. Maybe Olivia? Simply because, or Gabriella too. I just think that they're both kind of like fun and like goofy and carefree and like joking during practices, but they both are like very charismatic, and so when we perform they have these, you know, they're really good at their facials and they're really good performers. And so I think between like practice and actual performances, those two are very different, and it's really cool to see that like kind of like really chill in practice versus like we're performing kind of energy. So that's pretty cool.
Gabriella, mostly because on camera Gabriella is really like powerful and charismatic and intimidating, and like every time I've interacted with Gabrielle, she's just been like so sweet and so like, yeah.
Sid, Izzy, and Chi. I say them too because they are very to themselves kind of people and don't like to like talk about themselves a lot or will keep things to themselves or like talk quietly about something, but then you see them on camera and you see it. I don't have to explain. You see the covers, you see the stages, the performance. They eat it up every time, okay? I will not expect calm or just quiet, not outwardly people to bust their ass on stage like rent is due every day and they got 6 kids to feed and then they're not that loud. So yes, every time.
Maybe Gabriella. I don't know, I feel like I've talked to her, but I also feel like I haven't talked to her enough. I feel like she could be sometimes like quiet during practices and stuff like that, but like when she's performing, she is performing. Like all eyes are just on her. Like I just love watching her perform because if you watch her facial expressions, she's really good. She's really, really good. So I'd probably say Gabriella.
I think probably Jay. Yeah. Who is most different from your first impression of them to now? I think Melissa is probably most different from my first impression of them. Just because I think at first I thought they were like tall and cool and intimidating. And they are still like cool and tall, but they're also just really funny.
would be Sammy, JJ, Anderson, and Paul. So it's like Sammy, I like met Sammy like doing like a GBM, and I think it was like La Lisa, and I was just like, oh my gosh, look at your hair, and they was like, oh my god, we just talked like Animal Crossing characters together as well. So it was just us feeding off each other until like they got into Dez's Kimchi Fam, and then that's when we like really grew closer together. So I just thought Sammy was cool from a distance, and I was just like, oh my god, I will befriend. And the tea. And like my first impression, I met JJ was for Shiny's Sherlock, as well as Izzy. And I go up, and it's time for the VCR filming. They're like, okay, so we're DB. If you've seen if you're there for showcase, and we're just like DB. Yes, it was a lot of that, and it was just me posing every time if we messed up, and all of us were messing up Korean. It was bad. It was a time, but it was a great time. Something like very much a core memory for my first impression of them too. And Anderson isn't like someone like people conversate a lot with, but I will tell you, you will have a good laugh with Anderson and a good time. Go out drinking with Anderson. I mean, drink yogurt with Anderson.
I have no idea. Maybe JJ? I usually don't like remember first impressions, but I remember thinking that JJ was quiet. He's not that quiet anymore. But maybe that's because he's comfortable. But yeah, otherwise, not really anyone.
Maybe JJ. When I first like met JJ, well, I didn't really meet him, just kind of like being around him. I always thought he was like very serious. And I was also very, like, I guess nervous to talk to him, or like, I don't know, I guess, because he just seemed very like serious about things, and he was very, like very into what he was doing. And so I was kind of like, ooh, like, I don't know if we would like vibe well or if we would click well. But now that we're friends, he's like an idiot and he's goofy and he says like out of pocket shit, and I kind of see that he doesn't have, he has like different personas where it's like, oh, this is JJ when he's like dancing and when he's doing something he's into and he's very serious about it, versus like JJ when we're hanging out and he's like joking and laughing and having a good time and being so unserious about things, which is so different than what I thought he was gonna be like. I feel like everyone's gonna fucking say me.
Maybe for this, I would say Izzy, because like very first like gut impression of them is that like, oh, like they're such like a cool person, da. But then like as I got to know them and everything, it's like the goofier side of their personality comes out more and more. And it's like, oh, so not that it's a bad, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm like, oh, it's like a new side to them. So yeah, I think probably Izzy.
Who's the cutest in KPMG? Des. Have you seen, I don't know if I think you're gonna see it by the time this gets shown, but Des has Des's photo card, I think, for home run. It's like from up here, and it's like, it's so cute. And also, like, I feel like when you're cute, you don't like I don't explain it, like, people that are cute are just cute, like, they don't try to be cute, they're just cute. And sometimes Des will make noises that are just so cute. And Des is cute. Yeah. Anyways, yes, Des is cutest.
Nikima or Care. Nikima because like, I don't know, just like the vibe that she gives off. Also like the way, like her outfits too. Just, I don't know, Nikima has like a very cute vibe to me. And I guess it's like the same reasoning for Care as well. I just think, yeah. See this in KPMG.
I think it might be like Mari. I think like Mari's kind of got this like silly personality, and it's just like she's very much got like sort of like cute like puppy kind of energy, and she can't say words right, which also is very cute when we're talking and I hear a word, I'm like, I've never heard it said like that before, but that's fine. Also just like I mean, if we're talking like appearance, she's also just very cute, so.
Sammy, Abby, Chi, and Care, they all unify a golden ball. When I think of them, it's just like, oh my gosh, warmth. Yes, that's who I think is the cutest people.
Rachel.
Who is the coolest in KPMD? For this question, I'd say either Melissa. I think Melissa's pretty cool. In my humble opinion, I think she's I just think said, you're cool and you should know that. Said, accept it.
Des, Lance, and Izzy, just because the style fits and they're pretty. You're like, damn, a role model. I'm trying to get like you for real. I'm trying to give you. Okay, let me stop. Yeah, I think they're the coolest people with KPMD.
I definitely have to pick Muhammad and JJ. Yeah.
I'm gonna reluctantly say Izzy. But that's only because I think a lot of people think they're cool in the way of like, oh, greaser, motorcycle, baddie, or like something like that. But I think they're more cool, not like, oh, you're like a K-pop idol. No, like, I think they're cool mostly because, they really try their best. Like, they're goofy, like cool in the sense that they're goofy, but they still try their best. And I think like, to the best of their ability, they try to like keep it together and like consider others. And I think I really respect that. So that's why I think Izzy's just kind of the coolest for that. It's embarrassing to say.
This is gonna sound very biased because it's just like the people I hang out with. But I would probably say like JJ and Chi and Isel's pretty cool. And I know they all think that they are not cool, because every time I talk to them, they, and me included, are always like, damn, we're such fucking losers. But I think they're really very cool. And as much as they don't think it, I think other people think that they're cool also. It's the most outgoing or the life of the party in KPMD. Honestly, I don't know if life of the party and most outgoing are the same thing. So I'm gonna say like who I think is the most outgoing. I feel like right now the most outgoing people are probably the new kids, like Izzy and Chase and Nyla and them, because like I was very shy to speak to different new people when I was joining KPMD, and so it took me a long time to kind of like make friends. But when I see them and they're just like going around and talking to everybody in a way that I still can't really do, like I would never be that like confident enough to go up and just talk to somebody like that. So I would say they're probably the most outgoing.
I think Meghna, maybe. Yeah. Meghna's like the most extroverted person I know.
Life of the party, as I said, Anderson knows how to drink yogurt well. I said Des as well, but that's only because me and Des together are fucking dumb. We look like Patrick and SpongeBob fucking cackling in the corner, or was it Mordecai Rigby? I don't know. I'm bad with references, but you get my point. We share the same brain cell. I could say something, she'll say something, and then it's just a bunch of cackles.
Question, I'd probably say Care, even though I know she won't think that it's her, but I think it's her just because she's definitely the person that like I see a lot of people come up to, or like they just know her, and like she goes out of her way to like really talk to everybody. So I feel like she's like the most outgoing, or like she tries to like reach out to people.
Me, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, why not? Me. KPMD has a lot of introverts, or like more reserved people, or like people that are quiet at first, unless you're loud first and then they'll warm up. So it's like, it's hard. So for now I'll just say me, but that's also because I think I'm running a lot of the social events this semester. Yeah.
Scaredy Cat KPMD. First of all, Care. The first time I ever watched a scary movie, I was like, we have like scary movie nights, and Care, I sat in between Care, and I didn't know it was a mistake, and no one warned me, and nothing. It was just a little face, and Care has the most horror movie scream that you ever hear in your life. It's literally quiet, and I hear, ah! Straight his face, and I look over, and Care's like clutching onto my body, and I'm like, I didn't even see what happened. Why are we yelling? And I said Des too, because every time I go to a haunted house with Des, she leaves my ass. Every time. We went like every time. We make it a tradition, like go to a like scary like haunted house like every year for like her birthday or something. And we went with like a bunch of our cousins and like her other friend. And I was leading the line. I started off strong. Somehow we pushed our youngest cousin to the front. We're shoving each other. We were running so fast throughout this haunted house that the staff had to come over and like, we have to walk in front of you guys. You're running too fast. You're going too fast. And then we almost tried to knock the staff over. Yes.
Me. But also, not just me. Also Abby, Mari, and Paul. Because they just get scared out of nowhere. Like, out of nothing. I mean, I do too, but so do they. So I'm not alone. So there's a lot of scared cats.
My personal experience, I'm gonna say Des or Care, mostly because I just like to watch a lot of like horror movies and do a lot of like scary stuff because that's just what I'm into, and I always harass them into coming with me or like watching with me, and they surely are scared. Like them getting scared ends up being more scary than the actual like movie or whatever we're doing. So that's how I feel about that.
This one is definitely either Care, Abby, or Des, but especially Care and Abby, because if you ever watch a horror movie with them, their screams will be scarier than the actual movie. Like, I'm so serious. Like, it'll be completely fine, then you hear them scream, and that's when you like start freaking out. It's like, oh my god, what's happening? Definitely heavy on those two.
Probably Mari. Just because one time I like walked up to Mari and someone else, and then that person got scared or like was shocked that I suddenly appeared, and then Mari got scared because of the noise they made, but it was so delayed. It was like a good like 3 seconds after the fact.
Who do you think is the real maknae of KPMD, not necessarily by age? I think maybe Sammy. Yeah, I feel like Sammy gives me like maknae energy vibes. I don't know, just from like talking to her and like hanging out with her and stuff like that. I feel like she gives me like maknae vibes.
Annie? I think Annie and JJ, but I think for Annie, like, not like a little sibling feeling, but like you feel like you want to take care of someone. So like for Annie, I feel like, I don't know, just like want to be there, etc. I don't know, just, I don't know how to explain it. Like Annie, like have you ever been in Annie's room? Like, yeah. And for JJ, I just think he's silly. Keep at it. CB. They bully me. Also Shruti. They're just like little siblings. I don't know what to say. They're just like this tiny. You know what? Gifty and Tiana belong in there too. Babies! All of them! Oh, they're just cute. Ugh.
I've had this answer ready since last seniors did the superlative. Because as soon as I heard the question, I was like, oh, I know exactly who that is. And for me, it's JJ. I don't have any younger siblings, but I feel like if I had a younger sibling, I would feel the same way about them that I feel about JJ. Like, in general, I'm like very much like proud of him and I love him and he's doing all this stuff, and I feel like very protective of JJ. Like, I am always trying to like look out for him. But then on the other hand of things, he's like always making fun of me and he's pissing me off, being an asshole. In like a fun way, because I also am bullying JJ all the time. But like, I feel like that kind of relationship, that like younger sibling vibe, translates to me as like, oh, this is the maknae. Like, I'm sure not everyone sees him like that, and I know for a fact he doesn't think of himself like that. But for me, that's how I think of him. Also, I just thought he was like the youngest in KBMD for a while, before like the new freshman came in, obviously, which is not true, like at all, but that's just what I thought for some reason.
I have two. I put Star and JJ. I put Star because Star will buy anything, and then we'll talk about the purchase, but I will live through Star. It gives very like youngest sibling vibes sometimes. And then I put JJ because golden child. If I told JJ, juggle this giraffe, he'll do it and figure it out. Okay? And if he can't, he will. If you think he can't, you're wrong. That's it.
Probably Jian. Yeah.
Most likely to scream sing lyrics to a K-pop song prompted. Again, Annie and JJ. Maybe that's why. Yeah. I said we'll just be walking and Annie will start like saying big wave, and JJ will start singing, I don't know, he'll just start singing a high note or something. Also, Josh, Nyla, Chase, Lil Izzy, Shruti, did I say them all? Yes. And I think because they also like not feed off each other, but like the energy, the big wave and the time to twice I shouldn't know talk that talk. Why do I know talk that talk? Because they just suddenly doing it, or like yeah they out of nowhere they just do it. Or they're like, what do you do at the party? They just be saying stuff.
I already have them on demand. It's Nyla, it's Josh, it's Izzy, it's Chase. And their whole friend group, I went to like, we had like a kimchi thing, we like to do like karaoke together. I ain't never felt so old in my life. I cannot hang with the young dogs no more. I don't know what it was. It was like 3 a.m. I was sitting there, microphone in hand. I felt like I was like singing about my trauma, voice crackling, tired, out of breath, and they're just up there jumping, having a bean, choreography on point, and I'm just like, damn, how do them motherfuckers still keep going? Like, they're great, but I loved it. I love the whole process.
If it's not me, definitely JJ.
I live with this person, so I just know that it is a fact. I can't really compare, but care, because I will be home and I'll be like in my room doing something completely different, and I'll just hear like yelling downstairs in our kitchen, and it's care. Just, it feels like whenever any thought goes into their head, it's coming out of their mouth, and a lot of the times it is K-pop related, and so that's why
For this one, they wouldn't necessarily scream, but from talking to them, either like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna about name multiple people, like Josh, Nyla, Little Izzy, Chase, yeah, those four, but especially Josh, because you'll just be in a conversation and then you'll just say one keyword and it's like, oh my god, like you'll say twice and he'll be like, oh my god, twice, talk that talk. I'm like, oh my god, it never ends. It just keeps going with all of them. It's funny though, it's funny. I'm amused and a little impressed at how quick the connection happens in the brain. Who do you think is the most out of pocket in KPMB? For this one, I feel like I'd probably have to say either Cass or Lance, because if you've ever like just listen to them talk or like their conversations that they have. I'm like, bro. I'm like, they really say some stuff sometimes, and it's really, I'm amused. I personally am amused, but yeah, definitely one of those two. They be saying a lot of stuff.
I have like 4 options for this because, or 4 or 3 people, yeah. So, Anderson, because the first time me and Anderson interacted was at a party, and we were both kind of quiet and to the side, but then I heard Anderson say something like really out of pocket, and I think I lost my shit, because I was like, what? So Anderson, Nikema, because like I feel like Nikema, I think it's because it's unexpected. Nikema's usually like pretty sweet or like, you know, and then she says out of pocket and it's like, yo, what the, she's just like, what if, blah, 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 and it's like, oh, damn. But yeah, Anderson, Nikema, and I think JJ. I don't know, sometimes he just be saying things and I'm like, oh shit. Like that kind of stuff. I was like, you do be making points, sort of thing, and like, out of pocket in the sense of like, maybe things that people are thinking but don't want to say, and then he just says them. But also somehow, yeah, ooh. Anyways.
Me, because I will slap somebody's ass unprompted with consent. Next question. And I'll do it again.
Honestly, it's probably Anderson. Not by like frequency of out of pocket shit, but like I feel like there have been times where I'm like standing next to Anderson and we're both like being very quiet in like a group situation, and then Anderson will just very softly like say some like out of pocket comment, like the funniest shit I've ever heard, and I'm the only one that hears it, and I'm like, what just happened? And like nobody is there to like hear it or like relate or, you know, be a part of that experience. So I feel like it's Anderson.
Again, just from personal experience, if it's not me, it's probably JJ.
If you could pick any person to dance, sing, perform a cover with it, who would it be? Honestly, this one I actually know as well. I think for me it's Chi and JJ. Like anytime we're doing dances or any sort of performances, I'm always like looking to them to kind of be in practices together and perform together and kind of work off that energy. I feel like they're both very talented, and it's just, I like their dance style and I look up to them as dancers in a way, and I feel like we just have good like energy together and good chemistry, so anytime we're in practices together we can kind of like play off of each other and work off each other, and I feel like that's something you can see during performances. But also I feel like they've both been very consistent for me throughout like my time in KPMD, and they're people that I've gotten very close to, and I know that I'm going to miss both of them like a lot after I graduate, and so it would be nice to do like, you know, this like one last thing with them, like have that memory before I don't get the opportunity to perform with them anymore. And yeah.
My body couldn't handle how much I would want to do. I know I'd want it, like personally, I'd want to do like Thrill Ride or Bloom Bloom or The Reveal by the Boys or like Fear or Adore You by or Thanks by 17. That's a lot of people, and I'd want to do them with friends. You know who you are. If you know, you know. I said you. Come here. Also Favorite by NCT 127. I really want to do that. But yeah, just literally any of those songs with friends would be really nice. You know who you are. Okay.
Probably Maham. We've been talking about doing a cover to every Mamamoo song ever, so probably Maham, yeah.
Like it if people ask me to do covers with him, I like to do covers. I'm just too shy to ask people to do covers with me. Unless I'm like, yeah, just ask me, please.
I'd probably say Melissa, just because I feel like it's been a long time since the both of us have been in a dance together. And I think that I'd want it to be Wannabe by ITZY because that was supposed to happen, but then it didn't happen because of COVID. And I was really excited for that dance. So I would like to do that dance with at least Melissa in it because I think it'd be fun.
We took out the visual question, but it's Isol. Period. I just want to put that in there.
Bye.